How's it going, metalheads? Welcome back to another video. This video will be album review number 3. I know it's only been a few days since my last album review, but I just had to share this one with you guys because it's so good. So yeah, today I'm going to be reviewing Struck a Nerve by Struck a Nerve. It's a self-titled debut offering from this Norfolk, UK thrash outfit featuring members of Shrapnel and Gamma Bomb. Absolutely pummeling thrash metal. Crushing riffs meet chuggy breakdowns on songs like Nocturnal Terror and Struck a Nerve. There's great shreddy guitar solos and nice acoustic work on the final track, Leviathan Wings. The vocalist and bassist Aaron Tucker, he does traditional thrash vocals very well, from the low growls all the way to the high screams. Aggression to the max makes this album stand out while not abandoning the thrash metal core that it does so well. It doesn't have too much of a, it doesn't stray too much from the thrash metal while still not getting lost with all the thrash that comes out this year and last year. I guess it is a new year now. That's cool. Well, anyway. Yeah, it's 9 tracks in just over half an hour. It's the perfect length for an album of this ferocity. If you think of albums like Rain and Blood by Slayer, those aren't, I don't think that one's even half an hour runtime. And if it was any longer, I think your ears would be dying. So yeah, I think half an hour is a great length for a thrash album. Yeah, speed changes throughout the album keep it from feeling monotonous. That helps break it up a lot. The riffs are simple enough to be crushing without being lost in the world of 3-chord riffs. Yeah. The guitar parts are just, easy enough that, maybe I could play them. Probably I could play them. But they're not, so simple that anybody could. And that's really interesting. It shows the creativity of the band. There's a lot of nice guitar harmonies throughout from Nathan Sad and Lexel Altair. Sorry if I'm saying your names wrong. And the drum fills throughout from Chris Williams add a bit of flavor that I don't think you needed, you didn't know you needed in a thrash album. But they're really nice. Usually thrash drums I feel like are kind of one note, and he does a really good job of breaking it up with those drum fills and stuff. Backing vocals at just the right times help add an extra punch to choruses or at the end of verses. That was a really nice touch. And there's an eerie acoustic ending at the end of Inside the Torture Fortress that especially stands out, and it gives the ears a much needed break before the next round of brutal riffing. There's a rather dissonant chorus in the song Raining Death, and it stands out as a testament to the band's musical know-how and creativity. Instead of just having another, thrashy chorus, they had a rather dissonant one, which you don't really find in a lot of thrash metal. And so I thought that was really interesting. Even the song titles stand out as having, the typical violence and aggression of the genre, but they're not just like, blank of blank, which is pretty typical for a lot of song titles. They're actually memorable. I mentioned some of them like Nocturnal Terror, Raining Death. There's one called Moon Sniper, As the Knife Scrapes the Bone. There's a bunch of cool ones. Inside the Torture Fortress. Stuff that you can't really just think of like on a whim. You might have to think about it for a little bit, which is cool to see bands using more, creative song titles. What else? The album is, I would recommend it a lot for both fans of modern thrash, like, Enforced maybe, or Warbringer. His voice really reminds me of John Cavill from Warbringer. But I'd also recommend it to old school fans and maybe Slayer or Destruction. I think they blend those two styles very well, old school thrash and modern thrash. This album's riff city. There's a lot of great riffs on here, and it's everything you want out of a thrash metal album. I think it's 32 minutes of thrash perfection. I don't think there's any skips on this album, and I highly recommend it. I would say keep your eye on these guys because they're doing it right. So this is their debut record, but I hope they put out more really soon because I can't wait for that. I was really sad to have missed this album when it came out. It did come out in 2025, but it came out after I made my list. Well, no, it didn't come out after I made my list, but I found it after I made my list. And I was very sad because it definitely would have made my list probably very high on my list. So just know that. It was one of the albums I missed in 2025, but I'm, giving it its moment of fame now because it deserves it. And I also shouted these guys out in one of my shout-outs. So yeah, go check these guys out. Again, they're called Struck a Nerve, and their album is self-titled. So go check it out. The guitar, or not the guitar, what am I saying? Sorry guys, I'm a little bit tired. The album cover is also really cool. It's kind of chaotic, and I like the artwork on it, so yeah. I ordered a patch from these guys. Go check out their Bandcamp. I'll link it down in the description. They have a lot of merch. I know shipping to the U.S. from other countries right now is murder because of the tariffs. But if you are so inclined, you should buy some merch from them because I think they'd really appreciate it. And I bought a patch. And I'll probably buy a shirt at some point. But yeah, really good album. Really cool thrash metal. Go check it out. I haven't heard a lot of thrash metal like this recently. And I really dug it. So I hope you're all doing well. Have a nice day. See ya.